In this video, we're going to talk about math in significant figures. So when you calculate stuff, your result can never be more precise. Remember the one I told you about, the graduated cylinders with the kids that were estimating too much? You can't have an answer that's more precise than your least precise measurement. So we have a couple different rules. For multiplication and division, your sig fig should equal the least number of significant figures in the original number. So this is total sig figs. And you'll see why this is important in a bit when we get to adding and subtracting. So this one, we have 3.0. That's 2 significant figures. This is 1.15. That's 3 significant figures. And this is 3.0. This is also 2 significant figures. So then our answer, if we're going to divide these, we have 3.0 divided by 1.15. Our least number of significant figures is 2. And so even though our calculator shows us all these other numbers, only 2.6 is significant. And I know it kills you to leave all those extra numbers that the calculator gave you off, but you have to. These do not count. These are not significant. The calculator is just giving you those to be helpful. Okay, so this is multiplying and dividing. So let's multiply these. Okay, this has 2 significant figures. Remember, this is a placeholder. It does not count. This one has 4. They took the effort to write the 0 at the end, so it does count. We'll do a smiley face if it does count. It's kind of a scary smiley face. And this one is ambiguous, but it's between 2 and 3. They don't have a decimal place, so we're not really sure. Regardless, we want the lowest number of significant figures, so that's 2. Okay, so when I did this in my calculator, I multiplied 0.32 by 14.5 times 120. I got 556.8. Okay, but I can only have 2 significant figures. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to round up. I can't do 556. Okay, that's 3. Not allowed. I can't do 550. That's 2, but you see how it's 556? 6 is more than 5, so we have to round up. So it can't be that, so it must be 560. Okay, and I know it kills you because your calculator gave you this more precise answer, but you can only, this is your final answer. Okay, and on your quizzes and your tests, we're going to be real particular about this because we want to make sure you got it, you know it. So now let's add and subtract. All they care about with adding and subtracting is the total number of decimal places. Okay, so remember, multiplying and division was total number of significant figures, regardless of whether they were decimals or not. This is total number decimal places. And you want the least. Okay, so your answer cannot have any more than the least amount of decimal places. So if we're going to add these things, we have 5.67, 2 decimal places right here. 1.1 has 1 decimal place, and 0.9378 has 4 decimal places. So when we add up this number, you can only use 1 decimal place because the smallest one you had was 1, and so you can only have 1 decimal place in your answer. I know that kills you. Your calculator is going to give you a lot more. You can only use 1. So let's try an example. This one has 0 decimal places. This one has 0 decimal places. This one has 1, and this one has 3. So we haven't even done any math yet, and we know that we're going to have 0 decimal places in the final answer, because that's the least number in the numbers we're adding up. Okay, so when I added this in my calculator gave me 3706.702. Okay, and remember, we can't have any decimal places. So this is more than 5, so we have to round up. And so our final answer will be 3707. And again, I know your calculator gives you all those extra spots, but you can't use them. It's not allowed. You can only have 0 decimal places.